Jason, how much does that one hurt given the fact that you guys hit 11 threes, had a lot of shots at the rim, had a shot there at the end? How much does this one hurt?
Losing is never fun, but I honestly think we took kind of a step forward as a team. I think this was a good, hard-played game on our end. I think we played hard throughout the whole 40 minutes, probably for, I want to say maybe the first time this year. Like, the way we competed, I was actually proud of our team. I think we did a good job in that category, but like I said earlier, losing is never fun, so definitely hurts, but definitely proud of the guys as well.
It looked like they competed pretty hard too. Was that game as intense as it looked?
Most definitely. It was definitely physical out there. But coming into the game, the coaches did a good job with the scout. They said it was going to be a hard-fought game. They play with a lot of toughness, so be ready for that. And like I said, I think the guys on our team answered the bell as far as playing tough out there. Just the execution has to be a little bit more better, and shots got to fall.
Are you excited about the fact that you have all these home games coming up?
Absolutely. Anytime we get a chance to step out in front of our fans and try to compete and win a game, it's special. Hasn't been a good year, but the fans, they stand behind us. So I'm appreciative for them. So are my teammates. I know losing's not fun for us, for the fans, but just tip my hat to the fans. They show up every game, and they're loud, they're rowdy, and we need that if we're going to try to put together a good stretch here coming forward and try to get some momentum going into conference play.
What's the biggest difference between you've had 4 road games in a row, now you're going to have, I guess, 5 home games in a row. What's the difference?
Just the preparation going into it. Being at home, I would say you're more comfortable. Not going into a hostile environment. Fans on the road can get rowdy, maybe shake guys up that haven't experienced that yet at this level. So I would say that's the biggest difference. But here, when you get the energy on your side, it makes a total difference. And just want to really just thank the fans. I know it's tough going out there and not being able to pull out wins for them. It hurts us. We want to get the wins for them as much as we want to get them for ourselves. But just thank you to Monarch Nation. Y'all stand strong behind us, and please continue to do that.
Jason, what'd you guys say to Chauncey after the game? I know he played really well and wanted that one at the end. That probably weighs heavy on him. What'd you guys say to him about that?
Quick in passing, just keep your head up. I know I've been in that situation myself, Not to say the game was lost because of that play, but of course he's going to feel that way. So just kind of give him his space. Just say keep your head up, give him his space. Let him do what he got to do to get his mind off of it, and then come back later and maybe give him some tips and just say keep your head up, keep going. We're not going to win without him. So just keep your head up, and good game other than that one mistake. But just keep pushing.
All right, Jason, tomorrow is the Super Bowl. Do you have a pick?
I'm gonna go with Pat Mahomes, man. He's playing great football right now. I can't bet against Pat Mahomes. He's probably going to be one of the all-time greats when it's said and done. So, and personally, I'm a Steelers fan. So Steelers got 6 rings right now. San Fran, they got 5. So the Steelers are leading the pack in the ring category. So I want San Fran to stay behind us. So I need Pat Mahomes to do his thing tomorrow.
So you're rooting for Taylor Swift?
If that's what you want to put it, go Swift.
I feel like this one was an opportunity that slipped away from us. Again, our kids battle, they compete, they fight till the very end, and that's very impressive, and I'm extremely proud of them. I think clearly our fans are as well. Ultimately, though, we just weren't able to put the ball in the basket enough. The first half was choppy. The second half, I thought, we got a 49-45, and there was a sloppy period there where we allowed them to tie the game, then eventually take the lead. But all throughout, from that point forward, whatever that was, maybe 10 minutes or so, I thought we had a lot of opportunities in the paint. We had a lot of shots in the paint. We had shots at the rim. We had shots from 8 to 10 feet in the paint that were all the right shots. and good shots, and for whatever reason, we weren't able to put the ball in the basket. And ultimately, that came back and really haunted us in a obviously very low-scoring game. So it feels like an opportunity that was there for the taking that we just weren't able to capitalize on today.
Were you satisfied with the opportunity you set up at the end?
I chose not to call timeout, right? I realized that. I thought that, all game long in that's what they do well, right? That's what Central Michigan does well. They've given us trouble in out-of-bounds under situations all game long, inside out-of-bounds situations all game long. They're best when their defense is set, right? That's been the key for their success here all year, or certainly conference play. So I really didn't want for them to set their defense, and I thought we came down and we had them spread out on the floor. We had the ball, in our best players' hands. I would have liked for us to have attacked better. I would have liked for us to put more pressure on them in hindsight. But I trust Chauncey a lot. I trust the guys that are on the court. I trust our players a lot. And ultimately, I believe that I got to let them try to go make plays sometimes. And that was a situation. I thought we were better off in that situation with Central Michigan's defense being unsettled, that we would have gotten a better opportunity than had we called the timeout and let them, really change what they wanted to do defensively or lock in. And, obviously the result is not what we wanted.
Would you rather see him take that shot maybe a couple seconds earlier for the better chance at a rebound and putback? Is that how you do it in practice?
That's a tough situation for any player to be in, right? Again, I trust Chauncey a lot. I think, in retrospect, maybe the results could have been different, The game wasn't won or lost on that one shot, right? It was a big shot. It was a big last possession. There's no question about that, right? But again, we had many opportunities down the stretch of that game to put the ball in the basket that we, for whatever reason, were unable to do. That cost us more than maybe that last possession.
Given how many threes went in, was it just a little bit surprising or jarring to see how many shots at the rim you guys just couldn't get to fall?
Yes. I mean, we obviously shot the ball, very well for three for us, right? And the ones that we shot, we took, we moved it, and they were good basketball, right? And again, there's more examples of more good team basketball, and that led to a lot of those shots, right? That led to a lot of those assists. But there's no question, right? If you do the math, and I'm not a really good math guy, but if you take the threes out, that means there were a whole lot of twos that didn't go in the basket tonight. And again, in that stretch, right? Whether it was in transition, we had a few in transition, right? And we had others that were at the half court. They add up, those 7 or 8. I can think of 6 or 7 right now off the top of my head, right? So I'm assuming there's probably 1 or 2 more. Those really, really cost us, because that gave us a chance to really grab hold of the game and maybe get a little bit more separation, and we just weren't able to do that.
Afterwards, you jumped out of the handshake line real quick to get Chauncey, and you knew that had to weigh heavily on him. I know you just said it's not, that shot doesn't win or lose it, but what did you say to him, and what do you guys try to tell him? Because obviously that probably weighs on him a little more than any other shot.
No, there's no question, right? I mean, Chauncey's the right guy. He's a very, very good player. He's a fierce competitor. He's a huge part of our team, right? That was it's a tough situation for any player to be in at the end of the game when you miss that shot. And I didn't want him to be out there by himself. I want him to know I have his back. I want him to know I have his back. We didn't get the result we wanted. He didn't get the result he wanted in that play. None of us got the result we wanted in the game. but I've got his back.
Anything else?
What, as well as you guys shot, most of the rest of the stats are pretty even. Is the free throw discrepancy that big a deal?
I think it was tonight, right? Because I thought we guarded them, pretty well. I mean, there were some breakdowns, right? Early in the game, Butler, right, hit the 3 threes early in the game, and then after that, not really. There were a few, right? Long possessions, right? A few breakdowns late, sure, but there's no question. I mean, they got to the foul line 3 times as many times as we did, 3 times as much, whatever, right? They shot 3 times as many free throws as we did. And they didn't, I don't think they shot great, but just more volume, more quantity. We were not able to get to the foul line. It's something we've been doing better here lately. Part of that, again, is their defensive sort of matchup zone, right? That kept people, clogged up the lane, right? They clogged up the lane. We were able to take advantage of that when we moved the ball and got, really good standing 3-point shots. In the second half, we were able to figure out how to get the ball to the rim in other situations, but we, again, all the shots, some of that led to some scores, but the ones that we missed, we also didn't get to the foul line. So yeah, no, there's no question about it. That was, I think, ultimately a big factor.
Do you agree with, do you agree with Jason that despite the setback, this was still a step forward for the team in terms of playing hard physical basketball and doing it for 40 minutes?
Absolutely. I mean, again, we walk out of here tonight and we don't have the result we want. But our kids are competing, they're sticking together, they're battling, right? And that's always a step forward, right? Yeah, yes, a different result would be a bigger step forward. We're not naive enough not to understand that or appreciate that, right? But our kids are battling and competing and fighting through a ton of adversity. And as long as we do that, that's always a step forward.
Chauncey, your best shooter, leading scorer tonight, he only shot 1 shot in the final 9:23. Were they shutting him off, or would you have wanted more shots from him the last half of the second half under ideal circumstances?
Under ideal circumstances, absolutely. Ideal circumstances often don't exist. That's what they do, right? That's what they do. They were keying on him. They were taking away his lanes, right? Whether it was in set plays, right, where we sort of try to create lanes for him, whether it was in unscripted, right, plays, he was the focus, right? Their players were talking about it, and you could hear from their bench, right? Everyone knew it. Hey, I thought Chauncey did a pretty good job of facilitating for other guys tonight, right? And it just wasn't there. He wasn't able to get past. It was not just a man and a half. It was often 2 guys gearing up on him. So they took the ball out of his hands. They didn't let him get to the rim. Hats off to them. I thought we, made the adjustments. We got other guys shots. Ultimately, we just weren't able to put the ball in the basket enough.
Anything else?
Thank you, Chair.
We asked Jason, what's your pick for tomorrow's big game?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you know who's playing?
I do know who's playing. When you asked Jason that question, I had to think about who was playing in the game, to be very honest. I don't watch much NFL football in general. I certainly don't watch much NFL football this season. So, no, I have no idea. I just, for all those people that do care, I hope it's a good game.